I am who I am.
I am who I am.
I am who I am because I had a great teacher.
A great teacher is a work of art.
A great teacher is a key to success.
A great teacher can change your life.
A great teacher changed my life.
Linda Bodie.
Hunter Frost.
Mr. Isaacson.
Mr. Cohn.
I learned that I didn't need to be like everybody else.
I learned that everything is possible.
I learned not to sweat the small stuff.
I learned that you can approach knowledge with a sense of wonder and fun.
I didn't learn how to speak Spanish, even though she was my Spanish teacher, but I did learn how to be myself.
Mr. Isaacson, it's been a long time, but thank you.
Emily Darcy, Craig Smith, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hunter Frost.
Mr. Glass, I thank you.
Charlotte Pace, thank you.
To each and every one of my teachers, thank you.
Muchas gracias, Señora Flower. Te amo.
This video is the makeup session for the mentor and new teacher meetings that took place during the month of November. The new teacher meeting was on 11/3, while the mentor meeting took place on 11/10. So if you're watching this video, this will be your makeup. Later in the video, I will describe how you can go about receiving credit for viewing this training. But our goal for the day is we're going to talk briefly about the completed assignments that you have up to this point. We'll talk about the assignments that are coming up due, along with the remainder of the year. Particularly, we'll pay attention to assignment number 3, which is our reflections and goals. And we'll tie that back into the T-test cycle, which a lot of us are going through the formal observation components right now. And then we just want to briefly touch on it's time to keep it positive. So this is the opportunity in the month where teaching becomes really difficult. And we want to make sure that we keep things positive with positive self-talk, and then also the opportunity to just give others around you, your colleagues and peers, some of that positive reinforcement as well. So up to this point in the Waco ISD Succeed program, Assignment 1 was completed by all new teachers. Remember, this was the identification of key campus personnel. Assignment 2 was completed by both new teachers and the mentor teacher. The assignments were slightly different as the new teacher described their classroom management plan, and then the mentor teacher provided feedback and a matrix scoring system on the overall classroom management plan. We've done a discussion board on the Google Classroom, which I'll show you Google Classroom here in just a moment to make sure that you have accessed and completed those assignments. And then we've also completed Observation 1. Now this was by the mentor teacher only. Observation 1 was conducted in Google Classroom on a Google form, and Observation 2 is coming up due actually tomorrow into this week. If you're unable to get that observation in prior to this Thanksgiving holiday, you do have that time between Thanksgiving and Christmas to also complete that observation, and that will be for both mentor teacher and new teacher as well. So those are the completed assignments to date. Upcoming assignments, again, November 18th, the end of this week, we had Observation 2 that's due for both mentor and new teacher. So hopefully you've had the opportunity to get in the classroom of your new teacher, or as a new teacher into the classroom of your mentor or a different teacher on your campus. We also have Assignment 3 coming up, which will be due prior to leaving for the Christmas holiday. Now Assignment 3 is on reflections and goals, and we'll talk a little more about that here in just a moment. That assignment will be completed by both the mentor and the new teacher, again with a slight difference between the assignments, as the new teacher is identifying areas of reinforcement and refinement, and the mentor teacher is helping to design an action plan based on one of the areas of refinement. There's also a middle of the year survey for both the mentor and new teacher that is available now in the Google Classroom, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. And after that, in January, is simply an online presentation for the remaining of the materials that are going to be completed over the course of the second semester. New teachers will actually meet in February. Mentor teachers will not meet again with the group until May at the end of the year. So again, we really took the feedback from last year's surveys and tried to emphasize the time on campus for the new teachers and mentor teachers, because the second semester can get very busy and we didn't want to take additional time during that portion of the year with the Waco ISD Succeed program. So on observation 2, we want to make sure that we are making the feedback meaningful. And I'm going to show you a few examples following this slide about a few of the observations received on observation 1. Our goal is we're looking for a couple areas of reinforcement. These are strengths that we see in the classroom. And then we also want to discuss one area of refinement. Again, the language coming straight from our t-test evaluation process. With that area of refinement, what we want to do is provide suggestions or action plan that can take place to move towards improving that area of refinement. We just don't want to simply point out a weakness in the classroom. We want to provide some expertise on suggestions that can be utilized to help improve or grow in that area of refinement. So during observation 1, here's one sample of a observation that was received. Basically, they stated that the lesson activity you can see here was place value, and the notes and observations where they identify areas of reinforcement and refinement was, this was a math lesson. The initial thought when I saw this observation was something like that. Now here's a second sample. In this sample, the mentor teacher provides the lesson activity, and then within the notes and observations, you can see that it's very detailed and fact or evidence-based. They provide areas of strength. They discuss areas of refinement, along with that very specific feedback on suggestions on what to do to improve in those areas of refinement. So hopefully you're able to provide to your new teacher or mentor teacher within the observation information on what they can do to better themselves in the classroom. So when I saw this one, I was like, yes, awesome. So again, make sure to take the time on that observation to provide some meaningful feedback, because all teachers are still at a point where we're all working to grow. And in particular, again, this provides us some very good practice as it comes to the t-test evaluation process, as it deals with areas of reinforcement and refinement. Now, assignment 3 that's due prior to leaving for the Christmas holiday, December 16th, again deals with reflections and goals. You can see here, this is the assignment that's labeled for mentors. There is also an assignment 3 labeled specifically for new teacher. They are very similar in the content of the assignment, with just a few simple or slight differences where the mentor teacher is helping to define an action plan. The new teacher is doing more of a self-evaluation. Now what we want to do is make sure that we tie this back to our t-test goals that were set at the beginning of the year. So what I'm going to do is briefly run through, if you have not accessed or brought back up the goals set at the beginning of the year, every educator in Waco ISD set in a range of 2 to 3 goals starting the year, and these were goals that they're working towards attainment over the course of the t-test cycle over the course of this school year. So you can see here I have a screenshot of what this looks like, and what you do to access your goals. If you go to your Eduphoria account, which is waco.schoolobjects.com, if you go to the Appraise application, and underneath My Evaluations, you click on Evaluation Documents, and you can see here in the center column, underneath My Goals, you should see your 2 to 3 goals set at the beginning of the year. So here's a sample goal that was set. You can see that this was approved. And so what you want to do is go back and kind of reflect on how are you doing towards the attainment of this goal. Now these goals were established in collaboration with your appraiser, and they are the ones that went through and actually did the approval on the goals. In this screen, you can see we have the basic breakdown of the goal along with the action steps and also the targeted date of completion. Now at this point, we can and will go back as we reach attainment of the goal or prior to completing the goal and enter in our evidence of goal attainment. Now you can enter that evidence in many ways. One is if you want to message back and forth with your appraiser, you can do that within the Eduphoria system. Of course, you can also do that through email in first class. One neat thing about doing it in Eduphoria is this message is sent directly to your appraiser, It's time and date stamped, and you get a running history of all the messages sent back and forth available here with your completed document. This means when they're going through your summative evaluation at the end of the year, you can pull this information quickly and in one location. You also have the ability to attach evidence towards goal completion on the Evidence tab. Now you can attach evidence of many different kinds. You can see here, because my goal was to set and build a review process for reflecting on one's goals, my first action step was to establish a goal. So for evidence, I actually attached a screenshot of that I had created the goal for this training. You can see my next piece was to approve a goal or have the goal approved. So again, I attached a screenshot there. You can also attach text evidence where you simply type in. You can upload files if you had certificates of professional development opportunities you attended outside of the district, or perhaps additional files or information towards the attainment of that goal. You can provide that file upload here. You can provide links. Maybe if you're doing online webinars or online courses, maybe provided by NIET and CEA in regards to online training for the dimensions, you can provide those links so that your appraiser is able to see that here. Or you can also attach workshop portfolio entries for any training that you've completed in the district towards the attainment of your goal. You can see each time you attach an evidence, it again, time and date stamps it, but again, that'll be available in a single report as you come through the end of the year towards your summative evaluation and really discuss your work towards the attainment of a goal or completion of a goal, and then also begin the goal setting process to start for the summer and the next school year. Now you see on the top menu bar, I have the ability to edit a goal. Just realize that if you do go through the process of editing a goal, perhaps you have set a targeted completion date early in the year that is no longer attainable. Perhaps you need to move that date back, or perhaps the goal itself needs to change in alignment with what's currently taking place in your classroom. You can make those edits by hitting the edit button. Once you open a goal for editing, you will have to resubmit that goal for approval. So prior to editing any goal, you want to make sure that you have talked with your appraiser and that you're working through that process collaboratively again. Now what's neat is if you are editing a goal, you will keep and retain a running history of all the goals and edits. So you can see here, here's my running history of the goal, and here's my reasoning for the edit that I originally submitted with this goal. So again, in going back to assignment 3, when we talk about an area of refinement that we want to improve upon, go back, utilize your T-test goals, because you can really work towards increasing your level of attainment on that goal over the second semester, right in line with what you're doing with the Waco ISD Succeed program. Now I'll show you that assignment 3 again is slightly different for the new teacher and the mentor. Here's the assignment for the mentor teacher, and once you click in, we're identifying areas of reinforcement or strengths, and we're tying these specifically to our dimensions straight from our T-test rubric. So if you have not had an opportunity to go back and review your T-test rubric, this is a great thing to do prior to going into your pre-conference and then going through your formal observation. You can see assignment 3 for new teachers looks very similar. So here you can see again, new teacher, and you again are identifying for yourself areas of strength and then targeted areas of refinement. So we're looking for a 2 and 2 here, and again tying those directly back to your dimensions on your T-test rubric. So again, make sure you align this assignment with what you're doing within T-tests, and that way you're not doing double work or working towards goals that don't align to what your appraiser has set for you for the second part of the year. Also with assignment 3, we shared information in our meeting regarding the pre-conference that you will have prior to your formal observation. This form is available on a Google Drive folder and also should be available to all mentors and new teachers. And basically this T-test pre-conference form is what is going to be completed and submitted in your Eduphoria platform prior to your formal observation. Every teacher in Waco ISD, regardless of years of experience, will go through the T-test pre-conference with their appraiser. This provides you some guidance on specific questions and examples of questions that your appraisers may use. This is, again, not an all-inclusive list, but it is a good place to start, so when you walk into the pre-conference, you have some understanding of what could be asked. The pre-conference really focuses a lot on your planning process, the thought that goes into building the lessons that you're going to be presenting during that formal observation. So that again gives you a little bit more information prior to going in the pre-conference so you can have some really meaningful conversations. We also provide you with, or provided the participants with the T-test rubric as we went through and we kind of self-evaluated ourselves based on a few of the dimensions. If you have not gone back and reviewed your T-test rubric, or if you have not been doing that work on campus, it's a great time prior to your formal observation and in particular prior to your post-conference to really go through and look through those rubrics. Remember, we start at the proficient column to really understand what it is to be a rock-solid teacher, and that way you can help viewing your ratings determine what areas of strength and what areas of refinement you would like to target, and it gives you some really guided examples of what a proficient, accomplished, distinguished teacher looks like based on this rubric. And then we also showed an example of the post-conference form, which again basically highlights, just like our assignment 3, the areas of reinforcement and then the area of refinement that's targeted for the second semester. The next assignment that will be due is now available on Google Classroom as well, which is the middle of year survey. Please make sure that in that survey, just provide open and honest feedback and comments. All of these surveys will be used to help improve the program for next year to make sure that the teachers, both new and mentor, are receiving the training and the resources needed to be successful in the classrooms in Waco ISD. So don't be afraid to be completely honest. I have an extremely thick skin, and so all of the changes that have taken place over the last 3 years have come directly related to the survey responses received during those 2 years. So provide your information, provide your suggestions, and we really look forward to going through that information. And then the last half of our meetings really focused on keeping it positive. This is an extremely difficult time of year. I shared with teachers an article that will be shared on a Google Drive folder that I'll provide the address here in just a moment. And really it's just a time of year when our teachers and staff have worked extremely hard, we're tired, and the Thanksgiving holiday couldn't come at a better time. And we just want to remind you to take time to remember why it is you wanted to be an educator, to provide that positive self-talk, but also to take time to go to your colleagues and provide them with some of that positive reinforcement that we often miss sometimes as we get worn down in our day-to-day actions. So keep it positive. We want everybody to have a great holiday where they refresh, re-energize, and prepare themselves for the following weeks coming after the Thanksgiving holiday that lead up to the Christmas break. And we left our teachers with this quote: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. So no matter how difficult the path may seem at times, just keep moving forward and understanding that it does and always will get better. Veteran teachers learn and grow each and every year and become better at the skills and at what they are able to accomplish in the classroom. It's a never-ending cycle of growth, and for new teachers, just remember, just keep moving and don't get discouraged, and have a blessed holiday so that you can come back re-energized like you are on the first day of school. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact myself, Patrick Upmore. We also have Jeremy Kidd and Mary Keller, who are working as instructional coaches with the secondary campuses. Catch them if you need them for any additional resources, any additional help. Don't ever hesitate to contact anyone and ask for help in the classroom. You can also view the website for additional resources. And again, everybody have a great holiday, and thank you for all you do for the students of Waco ISD.